We're testing turbidity, and how we do that is we lower this circular thing down into the water until we can see it, and then we measure how far it went down.
All right, let's see it.
Whoa.
So it looks like we have about 1.1 meters. So do you think that is a lot of light penetrating into some big depths, or do you think, yeah, it doesn't seem very big to me either.
Well, the plankton catcher thing got caught in the propeller. So
Now we're stuck here. Coliforms are little microscopic things that live in the water, and some coliforms aren't bad, but if there's E. coli in the water, that's bad. And because these all have coliforms in it, and we know that because it's yellow, that means there's a chance of having E. coli in it, and as I said, that's bad. Well, right now we're going to be testing to see if there's E. coli in these samples of water that we know have coliforms in them. If it glows, or if these three glow, there's E. coli in them. And that's bad.
Let's check it out.
Oh no! Uh-oh.
It's glowing.
We're dead. It's glowing. What in? We've got poo!
Oh crap! Literally! Crap!
Ready?
Ew. It's only E. coli.
Just the microinvertebrates, I thought that there would be more of them, like more bugs and stuff, but there wasn't.
Initially, I thought the river was going to be good. It was going to be good. And
So what do you think now?
it's fair. After all the tests we did, like the macroinvertebrate, the plankton, and the conductivity.
So what was the biggest thing that made you think it was fair?
The macro, like the average of all the tests.
Oh, I still think it's fair, as I stated originally, because of the E. coli, mostly. That's what really kept me where I was, and the macroinvertebrates, because basically everything else is either fair or good. Well, most everything else is good, but the E. coli is really bad, so that's the main reason why I still say fair.
So, Freddie, when we all started to choose fair, you still kept with good. Why?
Because really, I think it is a good because the macroinvertebrate tests tested way more positive than the last time, and we still gave it a fair. Because last time, we did not find a crayfish. We found a bluegill, but it was caught in a net. I think the only good thing about last time is that we found a soft-shelled turtle. That was the only good thing. The rest of the tests last time were just barely above poor. So I really think that this time the river's much more healthy, and I would give it a good.
So you think the macroinvertebrates are enough to tip the scale?
Exactly, because we found 3 mayfly larvae. I counted 3, all alive. So that really turned it. 2 crayfish, both alive. A minnow, alive. And instead of just finding a bunch of dead shells from the snails like we did last time, the majority of the snails we found were, again, alive. So more of the macroinvertebrates, we didn't just find passive evidence that they may have been there, we found them alive themselves.
Marcus, what do you think? I really don't know.
Well, after the E. coli testing, I did kind of start tipping towards fair, because really having E. coli in your river, it's kind of going to bring down your score. So it just kind of made me move from good to poor. Well, not only that, I'm also basing it on the conductivity, which was pretty high. And for a freshwater thing, it was a freshwater river, it was especially high.
Scores, like what we had for chemicals, like pH, dissolved oxygen, conductivity, and turbidity, all, like, were good, but those can vary a lot, and the macroinvertebrates, they would have to live in the river for more than just like an hour that we're like testing it, that it's probably going to stay the same because it changes all the time, and the macroinvertebrates would stay there for longer periods of time, so they'd have to be able to adjust to the water, and they'd have to be able to live there.
So while the Grand River is not as bad as some people think, our results show that there is room for improvement.
So what can we do to help?
If everyone does their part, it all kind of comes together at the end. But one of the things that we always do is sometimes you will see, especially if there's a heavy rain, heavy rains will sometimes wash stuff into the water. So you might get things that are on the street that you might see, plastic bottle or cups, anything like that. A lot of times the winds or the heavy rains will wash these into the river. So while we pass by, and whether it's in our boat or our kayak or canoe, we always try to pick those things up out of the water.
We can pick up litter.
Or don't litter in the first place.
Or maintain your vehicles to reduce emissions and pollution. Walk and ride your bike more often.
Don't use chemicals in your house or yard.
Share your appreciation with the community.
We are using the scientific method.
It's not loud enough.
We are using the scientific method. Cut.
If I just look to the side, that doesn't mean you are doing something wrong. Go. Land use in the water. Rolling. Action.
We're collecting insects. Yeah, because it tells how. Okay.
Can we run like
Zombies.
I'm a little closer.
Oh!
Don't come close. What color was it?
Black. Silver.
What did we really hope to find?
A spider.
Really? Hey Andrew, what did we find today?
We found a tadpole.
It's a minnow! So...
Oh, it was recorded.
Stop! Start!
Action! Is it action?
We are also most plants and animals survive in a special. We're hoping to get.
It's okay. No, we're rolling now. I was practicing. What the?
To check them out there.
Go. Action. Action.
You know what? Come in.
There.
Duh. Duh. Darn it.
Dude.